What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the first, technically off-season video or podcast episode of Late Night Reds. He's Ben Brown. I'm Skylar Wepker. Ben, we have made it through the World Series, and dang, that was a fun World Series for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the game of baseball needed something like that. Like it needed a good series. It needed two highly powered teams because we talked about it before, where everybody thought like the Dodgers were just unbeatable conglomerate of billion-dollar payroll and this, that, and the other, and the Blue Jays literally went toe-to-toe with them, and were mere outs and inches away from knocking off the Dodgers. So big shout out to the Blue Jays. They went out and competed and thank both teams for giving us a series that, like, it was a lot of fun, a lot of great pitching, a lot of timely hitting. It was just a fun series all the way through.
No doubt. I mean, I have a lot of friends that aren't baseball fans, and they were texting me like, wow, this is really fun. Like, this is really exciting to watch. Game 1 through 7. And everybody's pulling for the Blue Jays just because obviously the Dodgers are the evil empire of baseball right now. And they're the first team to go to repeat since the evil empire of the Yankees back in the day. So all in all, just super fun, super heartbreaking for the Dodgers. I mean, or not the Dodgers. Sorry, not heartbreaking for them. Heartbreaking for the Blue Jays to make it 7 games, go extra innings. That one game that went 18 innings, like they were not backing down at any point and just fell just so shy of the mountaintop.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like when you get to that point, like you're right there. Like you're right there. And a few things here or there. You have an 18-inning game, which is incredible, which was unheard. I mean, that's unheard of. You go game set extra innings, like just it was just a battle of two titans. It was a lot of, just like I said, timely hitting, timely pitching. It was a really fun series.
Yeah, it was. And with that, the World Series finally coming to close, the offseason has officially started. We kind of have a little bit of Reds news, which is interesting to have, but the Reds have optioned Santiago Espinal to AAA. He then elected free agency, but that's a curious move for them to, this is a guy that was on their opening day roster and made it all the way through the season, staying on the big league roster. Obviously he got called upon a little more than he probably should have, just due to injuries and need. But what did you take out of the Reds optioning and essentially DFAing Santiago Espinal?
Honestly, I think it's the start of something that could be. It's the start of something that you think that they're putting plans in motion, right? Like, like I feel like there's something in place there where they're trying to set themselves up to do some things and move some people around, because that's a move. Like you said, we're not really expected. Like that guy would he was forced into service a lot this past year. He was on the opening day roster last year. So to make that move, literally hour one, essentially, you're assuming that they are going to hit the ground running, with trying to make moves and clear space and do different things, to be able to get people and bolster this roster.
Yeah, you hope it's kind of the precursor to more moves. I think the likelihood is that it means Sal Stewart is going to be on this team. next year for the duration of the season. But I don't know. Like you said, I think it could be a precursor to something. They had to make a 40-man spot, so this frees up a 40-man spot, but also a 26-man spot. So you hope that they fill it with somebody. Like I said, it could be Sal Stewart stays on this major league team next year, but in all, it opens up a 40-man spot. So you wonder who they're gonna either bring onto this team to hit the 40-man and 26-man, or if they're gonna call somebody into that 40-man spot from the minor leagues to protect in Rule 5, which I don't think the Reds really have anybody worth anything to be eligible for the Rule 5 yet. So curious that it happened so like pretty much immediately. As soon as it happened, they kind of did it. Pat Magooch is always friendly, always stopping on in.
Yeah, it just tells me that they're making moves and trying to free up space, and they're gonna start pruning away at this roster. Like they're gonna start looking at some guys. They're gonna evaluate guys. They know the guys I think they want to keep around, and I think they have a good idea of either who they want to call up or bring in free agency. And you got to have space available to be able to put those guys on rosters. And I think that's what they're kind of trying to do now. You wouldn't make that move that quick if you didn't have something in mind. Because like I said, that's like hour one. They're like, yep, he's heading on down. You're like, God, like the World Series is just finished. Like, they were like, nope, we're not messing around. Let's go ahead and make this move. And
yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if there were a couple other ones here to come as far as just trying to shape your roster. I mean, because now's the time, right? Like you don't want to be that team that's chasing tail in January. You want to be the team that's going ahead and being aggressive now and setting yourself up in a position now to be able to make moves and have roster spots.
Yeah, Jesse Smith puts in here, fingers crossed it's a power bat. I think we're all fingers crossed on that. We'll get into what they've been rumored to here in a sec. But before we get into that, kind of the other news is that Matt McLain will become a Super 2, which has changed a bit in what it was prior. It was kind of a way that teams would manipulate the service days so that they get extra year of control out of guys. A lot of guys like Chris Bryant was like this back in the day with the Cubs. But the Super 2 now means that a player under the new CBA, a Super 2 means that a player will gain an extra year of arbitration. So technically that means Matt McLain will be an ARB player this year instead of pre-ARB. Now, I don't know how much that actually helps him because he had a terrible year. I don't think he's really going to be able to argue too much his case, but it's interesting that he will kind of get into this arbitration salary and negotiation a year ahead of time.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing for him. Like especially coming off the year he had, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know what that'll do for him contract wise because he didn't play up to Matt McLain standards, right? So I mean, I don't know if that helps him or hurts him, but I guess it's a good thing anytime you get to lobby for your salary. But you would like to be able to lobby for your salary off a banger of a year,
Right.
which he did not have. So. I don't know what his contract looks like now, but I couldn't imagine that his arbitration would help him too much, because of his season, right? Because of his season. So I don't think it'll really matter.
No, I think the only thing it really does, and a lot of, and same with everybody that's going to kind of go to arbitration this year, which I think the Reds have quite a few. It becomes a kind of negotiation checkpoint if you want to like get an extension going or have those talks started around specific players. They did this with Hunter Green. Like as soon as he became like ARB eligible, the Reds bought him out and extended him. You wonder how many other players that are going to do that with. They might have those conversations with Matt McClain, just knowing what he can be and what he has done. But if I'm Matt McClain, I'm not interested in talking about anything other than next year, because next year is let me show that last year was a fluke type thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, he's not really in a position to really hold any cards at the table, except for the fact that he wants that prove it year next year, to show that that's the player that he was this year is not who he is, or not where he's going to be projected to be. That last year was a fluke. And this year he'll have a chance to be able to, quote unquote, right the ship, because last year was kind of bunsy for him.
Yeah, the Reds. I mean, most of the Reds roster is going to be in ARB next year. The only 3 players that have any type of really guaranteed money are Hunter Green, Key Brian Hayes, and Jose Trevino. Everybody else is in that like arbitration and or options. So they got some work to do this offseason as far as getting some of these ARB deals signed, or maybe even some extensions. I mean, we've talked about who we think they should extend. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but
yeah. I'll be interested to see who they deem as like valuable, like by the extensions that they offer or the contracts they offer, or how they negotiate with some of the people that are possible free agents, possible are people. I'll be interested to see like who they deem as, yeah, we want this person around, or no, we're going to let it ride and go in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm interested in that as well. I mean, I'm looking at Spotrac right now, and the highest ARB player that they would have right now is Brady Singer at 13 mil, which is about where you would be for a Brady Singer type of player. So everybody else is way less than that. The next highest being Tyler Stevenson at 7 mil. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So I mean, all in all, I mean, the Reds still have a projected payroll of about 117 million. Now, obviously, a lot of that is dead cap from Jamer Candelario money. I think Jamer's the only dead money that they have now. Yeah, the only dead money that they have is Jamer Candelario at 15 million.
Ooh. We're not paying Griffey still?
No, Griffey felt that this year was the last year for Griffey.
Okay. There's no other dead money out there.
No other dead money other than those Jamer Candelario's 15 million.
15 mil. Huh.
Which they only have that year, or they only have this year of that money. Next year, that money falls off as well.
Yeah. Gotcha. Huh. Interesting.
But right now they're projecting Matt McClain at about 2.6 million. So a fairly reasonable number, I would say. For
yeah. I mean, yeah, risk for reward. Yeah, that's definitely reasonable.
For contrast, Ellie De La Cruz is slated to make $820,000. So
oh.
So what happens when you get into the arbitration, man? The numbers significantly go up.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, the only pre-arb guys that they'll have on this roster next year, or on the big league roster, I should say, is Noelvi Marte and Ellie De La Cruz. And it depends on, Andrew Abbott. He'll be on that pre-arb also. And then it depends on kind of some of these other guys in the bullpen, like Chase Petty, Carson Spires, Connor Phillips, and some of those guys. But for your superstars or for your key people, really it's Lodolo and Ellie De La Cruz who would be in the pre-arb. So the Reds have a lot of money that they got to start inking.
Yeah. Hold on. So are they pre-arb this year or next year?
Yeah. The 2026 year they will be pre-arb. Everybody else is in arbitration year one.
Arbitration. Wow. Dude, that's a lot of decisions to be made. That's a lot, like you said. They need to ink a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they still have to control. Like those deals will get done one way or another.
We'll get done. All right, yeah.
But still, it's still a lot of questionable money. You know, if guys don't accept your offer, like you guys start making a lot of offers to either A, avoid arbitration, extend out, buy out whatever arb years you can. But that's a lot. I mean, right now you have 3 players that have any type of guaranteed money. Your 26-man roster, you have 3 that are actually signed for next year.
Wow. Hold on. Who are the 3 that gets what?
Hunter Green, Ke'Bryan Hayes, and Jose Trevino.
Wow. Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't know if we've ever seen this where the Reds have like so much floating money.
Yeah, that's a lot of yeah, like I wonder if is that normal to have that many like
if you're the A's or like Rays.
Yeah, but like I just feel like that's like you said, that's a lot of just floating money just out there.
And it could benefit the Reds in the sense of like you don't have committed money, so you can spend in the free agent pool. There's a lot of different avenues you could look at that. I doubt the Reds will look at it that way. I think they're going to say these guys are cheaper than anybody we can get on the free agency market, but I'm happy if they prove me wrong on it.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting, man. I just think I don't know how I think I have a feel of how management would go about it in the past, but how are they going to go about it now with Terry Francona? Like how are they going to handle this and free agency with him at the helm? Like that's what I think about. Because I think he's going to have a stake and a claim in a lot of this and how things are done, and how he wants to construct a roster, right? I mean, he's got to have some kind of say in what's going on and how money is spent, who he sees in a development of a roster. So I'm interested to see how that all will play out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes into like this next topic that I'm gonna go through with you is like what spots are a lock for next season. Like you don't have to worry about. And in my mind, I think it's I guess 4. I guess there's 4 spots that are a lock, and one is just because of by default, and that's catcher. Like Tyler Stevenson is your starting catcher, and that's kind of just by default. Outside of that, I would say Ke'Bryan Hayes III is the lock. Noel V. Marte in right field is the lock, and Ellie De La Cruz is the lock. Yeah. I think every other position's up for grabs.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. I don't think there's really. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there's not a whole lot of locked positions. I think everything is up for grabs except for those 4. I mean, I really, I do. I think when you get as close as you got as the Reds did, and you make it in the playoffs, I think you have to have everything's got to be on the table, right? Like,
yeah,
Like you're right there. But in order to get over that hump, you know what needs to be done. You don't need a complete overhaul, but you need pieces and spots where you can be successful.
Yeah.
So and I think that's where they're at. I don't think it's a complete overhaul, but I do think that there are positions that they can fill um, that can help you get over the hump. Like we know we need outfielders, we know we need a power bat, we know we need those type of things. So you have to have that flexibility in order to do those things. I think we talked about that before. Like we liked Spencer Steer at first, like we do, but but if we have to move a guy like that in order to bring somebody else in, we've got to be willing to do so.
Yeah.
So I think everybody is kind of, except for the four we mentioned, I think everybody is kind of up for either movement or replacement or finding a better option or solution at that position.
Correct. And that, for the listening audience, I want to clarify. A lock means like that, like, because you could make a case for like TJ Friedel, and it's like, yeah, he's probably the starting center fielder
Right.
on this team. But if they were to go get a Lou Bob or somebody else, they will move TJ Friedel for whoever it is.
Right.
Just like you said with Spencer Steer first, if they get like a Pete Alonso, they're going to move Spencer Steer right back out to left field.
Right back to left field. Yep. Yeah.
So I think those four that we mentioned are absolutely a lock. I think Matt McClain, like your spot, is at most in jeopardy. With you still have Spencer Steer who can pick it at second. You have Sal Stewart who can play second. So I think you got some people nipping at your toes if you can't produce on the offensive side of the ball, which we know he can. That's the thing. We know he can.
Yeah.
And Pat McCooch puts in here, Will Benson's absolutely getting traded this winter.
Poor Willie B.
I don't know what he did to Terry Francona, but it has followed him. I mean, he got booted out of Cleveland, and then he's like, yeah, I have a good chance here, good traction here in Cincinnati. And then Terry Francona comes in, and that turned around real quick.
Dude, I feel like he hit on his wife or something, dude. I don't know what he did, but I mean, Lord have mercy. Like he just can't catch a break with Terry Francona. But yeah, he's definitely out of here.
Just too many, like, why is Will Benson not playing? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. There's just too much like noise around it. And I think that's one thing that Tito doesn't like with his ball clubs is anything that's noisy or distractionary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like you said, this is how Terry Francona wants to build a team. I mean, to have this competitiveness for spots, that was always the thing in Cleveland. Like, there were two spots that were locked in: third base with Jose Ramirez and shortstop with Francisco Lindor. Everything else was up for grabs. And I think Terry Francona likes that. I think he gets the best out of those guys that way. We've mentioned it before. Like, this will be the first offseason with Terry Francona. He knows who he has in the roster. He knows who he has in the farm. So I hope he has a loud voice in the decision making when it comes to this offseason. I think it's obvious to fans, to the team, to Terry, to the front office, what this team needs. And I just hope that they are willing to do what it takes to do that.
Yeah. I think he has an idea of what he wants. And I think that management has an idea of what he wants. It's just the execution, right? Are you going to pull the trigger on some of these deals in order to make your team better and to get you over the hump? I feel like as a team, I felt like we, for the injuries that we had and the things that we had to overcome, I felt like we overachieved. Because I feel like there were some times where uh, we struggled. We struggled in the field. We struggled at the plate. Um, so I feel like Terry Francona now has a good grasp of what this team's DNA will be, like what it's going to be known for, what it needs to get over the hump, and he's going to have a full off season. I mean, he's right. He was cooking with somebody else's ingredients. So,
Mm-hmm.
is he going to take the time to put a couple of his ingredients um, in order to make this thing more successful? I think he will. I think that there's some. I think he has his eyes on a few guys um, that can help this team get further in the playoffs than they did this year, and put them in a position to win.
I don't want to put us on a little tangent here, but it was just announced right before we went live. Brian Hayes has won the Gold Glove this year.
Hey, there it is.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Two-time Gold Glove winner now, and I mean, rightfully deserved. That guy could pick it.
Man, there's not a better defensive third baseman in the league, dude. He can absolutely pick it, and can make all the throws from every angle, and just is so reliable down there. And like a lot of guys you see play the position of third base, they don't have the instinctual just knowledge of what's going on and how things are going to break down at third base, and you can just see it. Every play he made, dude, was just instinctual. Like he was born to play third base. Like he, when a ball is chopped, he's got his bare hand. He can go to his right, his left. He can run up the line. He can throw submarine. He can throw over the top. He can make all the throws. He can pick all the balls. Like he is a born third baseman, and it's awesome that he won it. Congrats to him.
Yeah, and look, this is a guy. Just the history of being a third baseman in the National League. You were always behind Nolan Arenado. I mean, that was the guy that was the defensive wizard at third base. So to be able to beat out, and granted, he's a bit older now than he was a couple years ago, but to beat out a guy like Nolan Arenado for third base Gold Glove in the National League, that's a very high feat. I mean, Nolan Arenado, the first thing you think of is his defense. So congrats to Brian Hayes for really, I mean, being outstanding and being everything that the Reds needed trade-wise. Even his offensive numbers were good with the Reds. So, like, super, super happy for Brian Hayes. Super happy that he's a Red, and well-deserved award for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's hard when you get traded in season, dude, and to come into a different ball club, a different team, different teammates, and he slotted right in there at third, man, and he picked up right where he left off defensively, and brought a better hitting to the Reds lineup too. So big shout out for him from that transition from a trade to helping a team that hasn't made the playoffs make the playoffs.
No doubt. And like I said, I didn't want this to be a super distractionary thing. It was just kind of breaking news. So circling back into what this team needs to be and what it needs to do to get a little bit further in the offseason. I mean, I've said it before. I think bringing back like Miguel Andujar would be so smart for this team, so affordable for this team. But that isn't like the big move that they need to make. I mean, they desperately need that power bat. They've been, I don't want to say linked to, but there's some threads out there to Kyle Schwarber, just because the Cincinnati ties and stuff like that. How much it'll be doable or feasible is yet to be seen, but They were linked to a couple of power bats like that, and no secret that that's the rumors is the Reds want a power bat,
Mm-hmm.
but the Reds willing to get a power bat. I do think that ever since that 2019 free agency where they went out and spent all that money on Moose and Castellanos and Pedro Strop and God, who else did they get in that free agency frenzy that they did?
Yeah.
That would have been the Puig trade.
Oh yeah.
Like that 2019 year when they just did all the moves and spent all the money, and it's kind of bad money because Puig did really kind of flamed out.
Yeah.
Moose, we know, was the worst contract that the Reds have ever had.
Yeah.
And Pedro Strop didn't pan out all that great. Everybody other than Nick Castellanos was kind of a bad spending money. I do think that they're a little gun shy around any type of spending spree like that, but I don't know. I think you gotta be willing to take a risk on something in order for anything to pay out. It's kind of like the difference between a blackjack table and penny slots.
Yeah, no doubt. The old phrase is "scared money don't make no money." So,
Ooh, such a good
you
saying.
you know what I mean. So, like, if you're going to do it, if you truly believe that this team has the ingredients to win in the playoffs, and you know what they need, so it's like, what are you going to make the move, or are you going to make a move? Like, you know what I mean? There's a difference. Like, you can make the move that you know that's needed, or you can make a move and be like, well, we made a move. And you're like, well, that's good. We're doing something, but everybody knows that the Reds lineup missed power. Like, and there are guys out there that you can get that could provide that power. So are you going to be in the lines of, okay, we know we need this and we need to go ahead and make something happen? Or are we just going to be like, well, we'll make a move. It may not be Kyle Schwarber. It may be, whoever. But it's not the move that everybody knows we need to make. So I'm hoping that they go out and get a guy like Schwarber. Because I do think that having his bat in the lineup, it helps everybody. Like, it helps everybody. It helps a guy like Ellie who isn't he's a power guy, but he's not a power guy. Like you want Ellie to be able to go up there and do what Ellie needs to do to get on base so that he can create chaos. So you can't rely on him to be the power guy.
Yeah.
There's other guys in that lineup. They have decent power, but you got to have a guy in your lineup that's going to scare people, that can change the game with one swing of the bat. And Ellie is that, but like you can't, like, Ellie had a stretch of 47 games where he didn't have a home run. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, he can't be that all the time. So there has to be some kind of person in that lineup that people fear. I think that's the move. I don't know if they will or not. There's a couple other guys out there that they could make a move for and help shore up some things, but I just think that a guy like Kyle Schwarber moving into your lineup and being a part of the Reds, it helps all the way around. I'm not going to say it's as big as like a Griffey move, because Griffey is an icon.
Oh yeah.
But you bring in a Cincinnati kid who played for Middletown, played for Midland. He's from the area. Well, actually, he played for the Flames, actually, but he played locally here. And he's a guy that wants to be home. I think he would relish the fact of being a Cincinnati Red.
Oh yeah. And
so, I just think that's the way you got to play on those things. It's only going to be good to bring a guy like that into your organization.
No doubt. And I would love if they did it. I also would understand if they didn't,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
because the money situation might be too
Mm-hmm.
rich for the Reds. I mean, Philly does not seem like they want Corporate to go anywhere. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, Pat puts in here that MLB trade rumors put out their top 40 trade candidates list, and I honestly I think this might be the way that the Reds go because we've talked about it before. The Reds crush trades. I mean, they do so well in trades.
Mm-hmm.
It could make up for their lack of ability to do anything in free agency. And not even like ability to do anything. It just seems like every time they sign a free agent, they never quite pan out. But every
Yeah.
time they make a trade, the trades always are like amazing. I mean, you take Jose Trevino they traded for, you take Spencer Steer they traded for, Key Brian Hayes they traded for,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Will Benson prior to this past year. I mean, the list goes on and on. They do really well in trades. Miguel Andujar they traded for, Zach Littell they traded for. They do really well in trades. I kind of wonder if that might be a route that they're willing to go and willing to do, just because they seem to be able to do their homework better on those guys versus kind of just signing some money. And granted, to be fair, they really don't go and get like the guaranteed guy. They always
Mm-hmm.
kind of try to sign these fringe moves, and maybe
Right.
that's why their free agency record isn't great, because they always try to get it on the fringe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'd be up for any trade. I think I've said that before. Like, there are only a couple guys on our roster that are not trade worthy. Like for me, like I feel like most of our roster, if they traded them, I'd be okay with. So I think we have a lot of guys on our roster that you can trade and make moves. Um, like I said, there's only a few that I wouldn't, but a lot of them I would. We can't get it. Like I said, we can't get attached to guys because of emotions, or whatever the case may be. Like if a move makes sense, then we got to make the move.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the way they have to be about it. Like be about it. Don't say, oh well, we tried and it's a two-way street to get anybody to come here. It's like, yes, those things are fair, but like how much are you actually trying? One of my favorite jokes is like Nick Kroll saying, "Oh yeah, we tried." And it's like, is that just Nick Kroll saying, "Hey, we like this guy. Will you come here for nothing?" And they go, "No." And he goes, "All right," and then just hangs up the phone. Like that seems like Nick Kroll's free agency method. It was like, "You want to
Cool.
come here for not enough money?" Not really. All right. And just hangs
Right.
up. Like, don't even come with a counter offer or anything like that.
That's funny.
I'm looking at
Uh,
the list now to see if there's anybody I would pick out of here. A lot of it's pitching though, and to be fair, that's one nice thing about this Reds team right now is that they really don't have to worry about the pitching. I mean, you'd
mm,
like to get a few more arms in that bullpen, but other than that, I mean, this pitching seems set.
yeah.
I mean,
The
Jared Duran, Wilmer Abreu, those would be two guys that I've gone on how much I like Wilmer Abreu.
and it's the
Even
trade
Kwan.
candidates.
Yeah, I'm looking through the trade candidate list. Yeah, I can pull it up on screen here so we can all look at it together. So a lot of pitching. Mitch Keller, Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, Pete Fairbanks. So I mean, like I said, a lot of pitching in these candidates, and we're thankful that we don't have to kind of be in that pitching market.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Jared Duran, Wilmer Abreu, those would be two guys that I mean, we talked about how we like those guys when we played Boston, kind of right before the trade deadline. Uh, those would be two guys that would be great if they want to get out of there. Stephen Kwan out of Cleveland, that would be another like, oh my god, if you could get Stephen Kwan, look out! This team looks dramatically different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Taylor
a guy.
Ward and Joe Adele.
Yeah, that's a guy. Yeah, Stephen Kwan is a guy that if you get him, yeah, he definitely makes your lineup a lot better.
Yeah, especially in left field. I mean, being a platinum glove winner in left field and just everything that he does on the plate too. I mean,
yeah.
Taylor Ward, Joe Adele, those would be great guys. And Brady Singer's on this list, which, yeah, I mean, if they Reds can get a little out of him, sure, but for as little as they gave up to get him, which is pretty much just Jonathan India,
Yeah,
and
right.
Jonathan India had a terrible, terrible year. Yeah, that's another guy that they traded for and came out amazing.
Yep.
Adolis Garcia, that'd be a good one. He's pretty old though. That'd be a great trade candidate as well. So I mean, this is a good list to go through as we get there. You wonder how Randy Arozarena, that'd be another great one.
I was just looking at him. Arozarena would be good.
You wonder how much teams are going to either try to shed some money or how other teams are going to approach this this offseason with the kind of impending lockout after this season. So you don't know if you wonder if teams are going to kind of go all in on people or try to get their roster set so that they're able to compete this year and ongoing, or if people are going to start shedding money because of lockout and lost revenue. I really hope the Reds aren't in that second category. And be willing to see. It's going to be interesting offseason for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be one of those, like you said, it's either going to be the haves or the have-nots. Like they're either going to go all in and try to do something before the lockout, or they're going to be like, well, we know we ain't going to be making no money after the lockout, so we might as well go ahead and just dump what we got.
And that what COVID was for the Reds? Jeez.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. So we're trying to save money everywhere. You're like, really? Is that what we're doing? Yep.
We're saving money everywhere as beer prices and food prices have skyrocketed. We won't get into it too much, but I'm interested to see where the Reds handle this offseason. I mean, the fact of the matter is they were an above 500 team. They made the playoffs for the first time legitimately in almost a decade. Mm-hmm. So I think and fans too consider the season a success, but you got to keep building on that. You can't just say, we did it, now let's tear it all down.
Yeah, no, and that's the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest thing with having Terry Francona is like, once you've put yourself in a position to be a winner, and you bring winners in, they're not going to want to go back to where it was. They're going to want to see change and progress. And I think that's where having a guy like Terry Francona at the helm is going to benefit everybody.
Yeah,
because he knows what it takes, and he's seen it, and he knows how to build a roster, and he knows how to put guys in spots to be able to win. So I'm hoping that they attack this offseason aggressively, and they're able to make some moves, make some trades, find some free agents, and build on the success that they had this year.
Yeah, and knock on wood, man. I hope that I hope they're listening, and I hope they have the same mindset as well. So for that, we'll go ahead and wrap it on up. I wanted to let everybody know to use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. I mean, if that's going to Bengals games, they might be $20 a seat by the end of this season. So
20, that's generous.
They might pay you $20 to come to the game. But use our code Riverfront.
Say they'll pay you 20. We are paying you.
Use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. We encourage everybody to join our ever-growing Cincinnati sports fan through patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy. It supports the show, supports the Riverfront show. I think the lowest bar of entry is $2, and that gets you access to our Slack channel. It's a great time, and it really gets hopping here as offseason gets going, and we start sharing some of the rumors that we're seeing online. So go ahead and support the show and join in on that fun for $2 a month. That's less than, I don't even want to do the math, but like it's 1 cup of coffee a month. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Riverfront Cincy, and please subscribe to the audio version of this show for free. It's on all of the platforms. Give us a rating and review over on iTunes and elsewhere, and be a friend, tell a friend, give us your feedback. We're just Cincinnati sports fans trying to make a good show for other Cincinnati sports fans. So for that, he's Ben Brown. I'm Skylar Wepker. Go Reds.